Beckham MacGillivray was so excited to be at Baldapalooza on Saturday night. He looks like your typical little boy. You'd never know Beckham battled cancer and won.
About 3 years ago, he started getting really high fevers, and we didn't know what was wrong. And after about a week in the hospital, they tested him, and he had HLH, which is a form of blood cancer. So it was really hard during that time. And after he was diagnosed, we realized that the only way to treat his condition would be with a bone marrow transplant.
Beckham's family and even friends volunteered to donate. No one was a match. Then they turned to be the match. It's a national volunteer registry of bone marrow donors. The chances were slim, but they got some incredible news.
We ended up finding a donor that was almost a perfect match for my son. And so once we found him and he agreed to do it, we flew to Cincinnati and we lived there for 7 months and he had his bone marrow transplant.
That perfect match was this guy, Matt DiMario of Boston. He signed up for the Be the Match registry in high school, never thinking he'd actually get the call.
And when I was a junior in college, they contacted me. It was never really a question of whether to do it or not. You know, it was more of, okay, like when can I do this?
Matt says the process of donating his bone marrow wasn't as invasive as people might think.
The donation itself, I went into the hospital, they, put me under anesthesia, and then, they took the bone marrow and I woke up and I was just sore mostly, and that went away in a few days and I was fine after that.
This is the guy?
The transplant was a success. Beckham's family was so grateful they wanted to meet their hero.
After about a year after his transplant, we were able to reach out to him.
And I'm just so glad that they, wanted to reach out to me. I wanted to reach out to them.
They met for the first time in Boise last year.
It was pretty incredible. It was pretty emotional. A lot of tears were shed. And
that's kind of where it set in really, my impact, the impact that I had on somebody else's life. To them, it was just such a miracle almost, that it was really, humbling to hear how much what my impact was on that.
Now, Matt is part of the family, and little Beckham knows how special he is and what he did for him.
We've told him that this is kind of like his big brother and he helped save his life, and they've become this inseparable bond and they're super close now.
Thanks to Matt's donation, Beckham's story has a happy ending.
Without him and donating, I hate to say this, but I don't know if my son would have survived. So really, he saved my son's life, and no words can describe what he means to our family. We'll forever be indebted to him.